In this video I will show you what the current version of ImportAnt can do and how you can use it to import. On the desktop here I created a folder that contains some sample files. So here you have folder 1 where I just have one instruction, one PowerPoint. And I have folder 2 where you can see that it has some special characters in it, like a O umlaut and an E with a trima on it. Within the folder with the special characters there's also a document with special characters, just to show that this can work with the ImportAnt. Starting ImportAnt only requires you to have set up your doc-base, so in this case it's just a DMCL file pointing to my content server that is running on this port. So here is the login dialog. Here you can select a repository. I only have one in this case, which is a Documentum developer image, and I will use the DM-admin password at the moment. You need a user with sufficient permissions. So when I enter my password I can generate a load sheet, and that's usually the first step to import things. So with the load sheet I have to select on my desktop the folder I just showed you called import examples. You can also see here that there are the two special folders underneath. Then I can give up a file mask, so in case you have, for example, PDF documents and other formats, you could say I run it just with star.pdf, and you can select the destination document type. On the standard doc base is only DM document, and you can do a column setup. In this column setup, by default all the fields that exist for the standard doc type are shown, but you have to put them to the left. That you can just do with these buttons. Then I go to object name, that's here, and I add it to the right, and I can add, for example, title, and I select it here, put it to the right. Then all you need to do is click run, and it will scan through the files in the given folder here. Then you can click Excel to get an Excel sheet for that. And let me resize Excel a bit to fit the window. Yeah, this is what the load sheet generator does for you. So here you have the source file path, the file name, the extension, the file sizes and the date time. And here we have the fields that we selected. So we said we would populate object name and title. So you can just use simple Excel formulas to populate it. So in this case I will just use, for example, the substitute function to strip off the extension from the file name. But this is just some basic Excel features that you can use. I extend the column width a little bit and fill the other fields. And then in the title we can set something like is orig file is and an ampersand, and get you the original file name. Normally you would not do that, but just for this example load sheet should be fine. So same trick here, fill it for the other fields, and the load sheet is ready. What this load sheet also does is it sets up for you the target folder relative. So this is the part that will be created from the folder that we will select in Documentum. So I will save the load sheet on my desktop, browse desktop, demo load sheet 01. I close Excel. This, and I grab the file and put it in the window. My desktop is a little bit bigger. So there is the load sheet, and we go back to the ImportAnt tool. I can close the load sheet generator and I can say load sheet. Load sheet has some simple steps where you can just select the Excel file again, of course. So we had demo load sheet 01 created. You will get a preview when it loads it underneath, so you can also scroll through the attributes here to see what's in there. You can select the target document type, which in the development doc base is DM document, and we can select the folder from the cabinets list. In this case I created a folder called test in the root of Documentum, and I can show you also in Documentum Administrator, for example. If you go here to this test folder, then you see currently it is empty. Next step is to identify the target fields, and here you can do some field mapping trips as well. By default it matches object name with our spreadsheet object name and title with title. But for example, if you like to have the file stamp somewhere, a free field that you can use in Documentum is log entry. So I will map file stamp into log entry. Then we go to run, and the next thing to do is create folder structure. If we do this, it will say, do you want to create 2 folders? And we say yes. Well, in that case it has created 2 folders, because we have 2 times folder 1 because that one had 2 documents, and folder 2 with the special characters. So if I show you now in the Documentum Administrator, you will see that tests now contain with the special characters folder 2 and folder 1, and both have no documents yet. So the next thing is load documents. Then he will just give a warning that he say the limiter for the repeating fields is a comma, and we click OK, and there you go, 3 documents imported. He says completed. And then a good practice is to go to tab 5, where you can create an Excel sheet of the files you just imported. This Excel sheet is the same as the load sheet that you had, but then with the addition that it puts in the object IDs of the imported documents. So usually a good practice is to save this one as well. And normally I use the original load sheet name, and then I add dash results. So you can always cross-check if you have imported your load sheet. So now let's go back to the Documentum Administrator, and we see here now the 2 files imported in folder 1, and the file with the special characters is imported in folder 2. Unfortunately I don't have Java on this computer, so this viewer does not work with Documentum Administrator, but we can use the companion Delilah to show you that these files actually do contain some content. And I have to resize it a little bit because the window is too big. And in Delilah you also have in Explorer mode a viewer of the folders, so same doc base. Here you see the Word file, here you see the other folder, and if we click, for example, to view rendition of this document, then we have the demo presentation that was loaded, and we say have a nice day. This is how ImportAnt works for you. It's basically 2 steps. You create a load sheet and import the load sheet and do the checking with the result sheet. That's all for this demo.